Good morning, love. How was your sleep? I missed you even though you were right next to me. Let's pull the blankets tighter as the rain falls down. I'm safe and sound wherever, just as long as you're around. When I look into your eyes, the warmth takes over my soul. 'Cause you're a ray of colors I've never felt before. Even when it's cold, I always seem to find that it's forever summer in your eyes.
Yeah. Refresh me, love, cleanse me, free me. Your voice, it brings a sense of calm all over me. The sun is rising now, and I'm basking in your love. Keep me in your light as the gentle breezes blow. When I look into your eyes, the warmth takes over my soul. 'Cause you're a ray of colors that I never ever felt before.
Even when it's cold, I always seem to find it's forever summer in your eyes. No matter how the tide or if the sun will shine, it's forever summer in your eyes. Ooh, in your eyes, forever summer. He aloha vela ma ke kou vela kaua. E ula mau I ka loke lani me ka lehua. He aloha vela ma ke kou vela kaua. E ula mau I ka loke lani me ka lehua. Even when it's cold,
Always seem to find
hey, it's forever summer.
eyes. Oh,
No matter how
matter
tight or if the sun will
the
shine,
sun will shine.
it's forever summer in your eyes. Ooh, in your eyes, forever summer.
I'm a good man, food on the table, working 2 jobs, ready, willing, and able. Check, good man, love having fun. Got no kids and the love the Lord. Check, good man, I'm a monogamous, never did time, baby, just once. Check, good man, and I puts it down. Wanna see it twice.
Good afternoon, everybody. So this is something new. Giving this a shot. Gonna give. I did this once while I was writing Twitch for Dummies, and whoa, yeah. And this is one of the dangers that I've found with. Is this thing drooping? This thing is drooping. This is one of the things I wrote about in the book. Ah, I see what it did. Watch as I magically make this thing disappear. So, this is one of the things I learned. I was working with in Twitch for Dummies. I was working with I was giving green screens a try, and there we go. And I decided I was going to try something something new in the market. It's this green screen that actually attaches to the back of your chair. I kind of like it. I don't think I this is like the third time I've used it. I don't think I want to use this on stream though. What I find really fascinating though is I actually have these really nice LED lighting systems, and I wrote about them. In Twitch for Dummies. I use them in some photography and filmmaking that I used to do. And I found out, these make great studio lights, right? Well, then chat. I went on ahead and set them up. Everything was working great. So I go back to do it to do this talk show format this time. And weirdly enough, I couldn't get these lights to do what I wanted them to do. I couldn't get this effect that you're seeing right now. And I was still trying to figure out what was different, what changed, and I realized what it was. When I went from my previous setup to my new setup for the PC where I do all my Twitch gaming from, I took the monitor I took the monitors that were over there and I moved them over here. So I have slightly larger monitors this go round. They're putting out so much light right now that honestly I don't need the lighting system anymore. So also like I said, I'm still getting used to the whole concept of working with a green screen. I've never worked with a green screen before. When I was a professional actor another lifetime ago, see that? See, I'm getting a glare. I am getting a weird glare on this side. And that is facing okay. So first thing we're going to talk about on this stream is when you get that weird galactic glare, as I call it. What do? Well, one of the things you can do is you can take down the lighting sources that are coming in, or I can just go on ahead and I can futz with the filter that I'm currently working with, and I can see if I can just do. You go into chroma key, you have similarity, smoothness, etc., and I can go on ahead and I can try to cut it. Yeah, but you see, it's very unforgiving. If I completely try to take out that white, you'll notice that now my my black T-shirt is now starting to sparkle. I'm a vampire, everybody. Hi. I'm a vampire. And also, oddly enough, when I cropped it to get more of me in here, I'm also noticing that now suddenly the top of my head, the very top of my head is getting cut off. So these are the joys of writing a book on Twitch, right? And these are the joys of streaming. You can have something set perfectly, right? You can have something exactly the way you want it. And then when you get back to it, one thing will throw it all off. And so I'm starting to understand why a lot of the people that I've seen use green screens before, or some people call them privacy filters as well. Not that I have anything to hide currently back there, unless I start working on a new novel. Got nothing to hide there, so I think I'm all good. But I see and I understand the desire for having one of these privacy filters. I totally get that. I totally see where people are coming from in that respect. Now you'll notice that suddenly the lighting has jumped a little bit. People, like hey, why is he suddenly brighter? It's again because I'm fiddling around with certain screens. That Acer? That's Acer. How you doing, Acer? Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us last night, by the way. I hope you enjoyed Philippa's Freaky Friday. That right there is a joy to do. Philippa's Freaky Friday. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do. So normally this is the Destiny channel, hence the background that you see there. I'm T. Morris. I'm the author of both Twitch and Podcasting for Dummies. And today I'm finally getting the chance to do what I've been wanting to do for some time. I've been wanting to do a stream where I just talk about the process. I talk about the process of streaming, and talk about the process of podcasting, creating content online. To give you an idea how long it's been since I've done this type of a feed, the last time the background image was up, this book, actually had coming soon underneath it. And then Podcasting for Dummies, of course, said available everywhere. Well, now they're available wherever books are sold, both podcasting and Twitch for Dummies. Twitch for Dummies is obviously the new one, and I am just as proud of it as I am of Podcasting for Dummies. It turned out great. It really is my love letter to Twitch. It's my love letter to people who have been influential in helping me in my journey with Twitch, and it's just been it's been a blast. It's been a blast being able to do this. Acer says, I'm excited for 4:30 to roll around. I love getting to play with you. I'm very excited to hear about this. Okay, so let me explain what's going on, chat. So basically, after about 2 hours of this, I'm going to switch from the Mac side to the PC side. And I'm going to get warmed up for a raid. I'm doing a raid with Acer today. We're doing The Last Wish on Destiny 2. I will be streaming it. It will not necessarily, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, one of the things that I've learned about me and streaming and Destiny and video games in general is when I'm just playing video games, I am chill. I mean, I am as chill as they come. And like yesterday, I had, let's see, I was trying to do, and I do stress that, trying to do what is called the Ascendant Challenge. Now, for anyone who is not familiar with Destiny, there's this thing called the Ascendant Challenge, and in the Ascendant Challenge, you have probably a jump puzzle. You've got all these different things that you're coping with, and I could not nail any of my jumps, and I was just suffering. I was suffering. And Marv, the Big Marvinsky, big shout out to the Big Marvinsky. That's twitch.tv/the Big Marvinsky. And Marv was kind. Marv was generous. He basically breezed through the Ascendant Challenge, so I couldn't get the chest. And then I went on ahead and got the eggs and the lore, which is all going towards this rank that I want to get in the game. And it was bugging me. It was bugging me that I couldn't finish the Ascendant Challenge. So I went back in on my own. And keep in mind, Marv struggled with me. Marv was not struggling. I was the one struggling. We were flailing in there for about 20 minutes, and I got what I needed, and I got out, and it set a terrible tone for the morning. So off stream, I went back in. 6 minutes, done. I soloed the Ascendant Challenge. And I'm still, I even gave Marv the footage and said, tell me what I learned from this. Tell me, I wanted him to break it down and look at it and go, tell me what I need to work on. I trust Marv's judgment. I trust Marv's strats. He's very good at what he does. And so, yeah, I really am beginning to believe that I am my own worst enemy on stream. Because when I'm off stream, man, I got this game down pat. T-Buddy, don't be so hard on yourself. I couldn't complete it in one cycle. I had to pop 2 tinctures. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I mean, I was so stunned that I had so much time left over on my tincture of Queen's Foil that I not only knocked that challenge out, but I also knocked out the Blind Well challenge where you were Ascendant. And was the cat doing that? Oh dear. The joys of live streaming, right? So anyways, but this is not the place, nor is this the time to really talk about Destiny strategies. I wanted to come in and talk more about Twitch strategies and talk a little about ways of creating content for Twitch and ways about creating content for streaming purposes. Now you may notice my eyes may switch from camera to off screen, camera to off screen. That's because I'm just keeping an eye on the chat. It's a little easier for me. It was a little easier for me, I gotta admit, to keep an eye on chat when I'm not gaming. If I'm just chatting away, piece of cake. So let me go ahead and give you a little bit of background on who I am and what this stream is all about and how I got here to this point. So again, my name is T. Morris. I'm a science fiction fantasy author. I'm known for a steampunk series that I write with my wife, and I can go on ahead and throw that. Can I throw that out? Actually, I probably should do it from here. That way, I'm not struggling with the keyboard underneath me. Again, the perils of working with a green screen that's attached to your chair. If I move, I make the possibility of doing something to the green screen and having it be completely off. But I can actually go into. I'm now multitasking like a beast. I've got my app up here. I got my Twitch app on the keyboard. There we go. So if I do Command Steampunk. Ooh. Have to spell it right first though. There we go. And there's the series that my wife and I write together. That's what people know me for from the science fiction fantasy side of things. On the nonfiction side, my most popular title to date has been Podcasting for Dummies. That's in its 3rd edition right now. And that's, if you're getting a 3rd edition on any book, that's a good sign. Twitch for Dummies, however, Twitch for Dummies could very easily become the next big thing that people that people pick up from me on the nonfiction side of things, which is more than cool. I'm thrilled with that. Mother Dragon, T. Morris, the Swiss Army knife of streaming. maybe. That's a possibility there. That's a possibility. But so what I would like to talk about today is basically if you decide you want to stream, what is the content you're creating and what can you do with it? And that's, I mean, it's a question I think some people, if you decide you want to put together a podcast or put together a stream, what's your plan? The important thing when you are deciding you want to go online and you want to stream, be it a podcast or a gaming stream like Twitch, or if you want to do something non-gaming like what I'm doing right now, the important thing is that you have some sort of agenda for each show when you start off with. Now, you can always drift away from that agenda. There's nothing that could tell you different. Like, for example, today I do have an agenda. I'm going to go on ahead and fade out from the book covers for just a second. So I've got up here the Ascendant Challenge that I was talking about. And I was going to talk a little bit about how to create a video breakdown series. Or how to create a video breakdown the way I've been doing in I've been using iMovie. Now, that is as simplistic of a video editing software as you can get, and that's why I'm on the Mac side here. When I'm doing the talk shows, I usually create it from the Mac side because I've got a little more audio control. I've got studio quality mics. This is my podcasting setup. So when my wife, for example, who is now sitting across from me, she's in the zone. She's in the editing zone right now. When she asked me, well, why are you podcasting on why are you streaming on this side when you stream on the other side? I'm like, well, that's for my gaming. This is where I stream when I talk about creating content and creating podcasts and stuff like that. Now, first off, is there a difference between podcasting and streaming? I think yes. And if you were to ask me, what is the difference between creating a podcast and creating a stream? My first reaction to that is going to always be the RSS feed. Now you notice I just got a little darker. It's because I covered up part of the screen with OBS because now I've got this up here, so I don't have to worry about it too much. It's really funny now how my computer monitors have become my lighting system, but why not? Okay. The difference is the RSS feed. Now, if you don't know what an RSS feed is, don't worry about it. It's something that's built into all blogs, but it stands for really simple syndication. It's an offshoot of XML or extensible markup language, And RSS is the delivery mechanism for the content you create. In other words, right now I'm working on a live feed, right? But if I wanted to, I could record this feed audio-wise, or I could go on ahead and just literally taking physical notes on this. Oh, no problem. That's the point of this, Acer. That's the point of this. But the RSS feed, what it does differently from streaming, is that streaming is live. I'm using Twitch servers now. It's going out live. The content's just going out. But with an RSS feed, that stands for syndication. So what happens is that script is working with the blog to get the blog post out to different readers, different catchers, different ways of delivering content to people's phones and otherwise, right? And what happens is that with the RSS feed, if you've got the address for the RSS feed, another site can very easily just pick up whatever I'm creating on my site and syndicate it on their site. That's where the syndication for really simple syndication comes from. With podcasting, you're basically taking the audio files and you're hosting it on your page, right? Your blog. Another blog, if they have an address for that specific episode, can basically use the RSS in their blog, point it to the exact URL of that podcast episode, and then they can syndicate the episode on their blog. The difference is, instead of them downloading it, uploading it on their site, and doing it that way, all the downloads are coming from the original blog. And that way, when it comes to statistics, when it comes to analytics, you can see an uptick in how many people are syndicating your post. It's like sharing on social media. Like you share on Facebook, you retweet on Twitter. Before retweeting and sharing and I'm not sure what they call reposting on Instagram, this is what we did. On blogs, you would syndicate another person's blog, and that's what the syndication is. So that ability to syndicate, that ability of sharing on another site and still getting hits on your site, that's the dividing line. Now, podcasting as a term has become very flexible, and now people use it for, people will come on stream and they will say things like, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast now." It's like, because the first thing I ask them is, "Well, what's the RSS feed?" And they go, "Oh, it's on YouTube." That's not quite a podcast, at least in my opinion. And when people say, "Well, can you back that up?" I always go, "Yeah, I can back that up. I can back that up." But the ability to syndicate the ability to syndicate something is not the same as embedding. When you're embedding like someone's video from YouTube or someone's video from Vimeo or something like that, yes, technically that is syndication. But you still have to be online. You still have to have access to it. Now, granted, phones have come a long way from when from the early days when you were trying to get online on the internet. Now, pretty much, people consume all kinds of content on your phone, and that's again, that changes the overall oeuvre of a podcast. But the difference with syndication and with podcasting versus streaming is that streaming, you have to be online to see it, right? And you got to have access to YouTube. You got to have access to Twitch so you can see the previous episodes. When you podcast, people get a physical copy for themselves. Now, you have the option now that if you don't listen to it, Apple Podcasts or some other podcatcher will simply delete it. But a physical copy can be downloaded onto your computer, or can be downloaded onto your laptop or onto your phone if you want it. And then, even if you don't have internet connection, you still have the episode. And again, that's another major divide, I think, between a podcast and streaming. Now, when it comes to creating content, though, a podcast can be just about anything. It can be a video. It can be a video clip. It can be an MP3 file. That's the common format for many podcasts. It can be a PDF. It's a method of syndication, and that's what we're doing in podcasting. But I do think that the line between podcasting and streaming is not even paper thin. It's almost non-existent. In fact, I've said it to my wife before. A lot of the same things that I've heard people talk about, community and support and all this stuff, I heard this 10 years ago in podcasting. Mother Dragon says, I've heard the term vodcasting bantered about, but YouTube doesn't quite deliver the same thing. Yeah, vodcasting or video on demand casting. You know, YouTube and very much so Facebook, they're trying to muscle in on the market that Twitch has kind of built a mansion on, right? And I think when it comes to streaming, Mixer is also a popular option to Twitch as well. They all do the same thing, but I think whereas Facebook, Facebook's trying to be that one-stop shop. And I would tell people, okay, you know that term, putting all your eggs in one basket? Facebook wants you to do that. And I'm the first one to say, I don't think that's a smart move. You can do what I did. You can let people know on Facebook that you're going live on Twitch. Now, if people don't want to leave Facebook, then guess what? They're not going to be interested in anything that you do outside of Facebook. I don't particularly like having a one channel for everything. I don't. I like having the option of Twitch. I like having the option of Twitter. I like having the option of Instagram. I like having the option of doing something other than Facebook. Yes, I realize Instagram and Facebook are part of the same company. But it also comes back to what people talk about when they talk about one of the arguments I've heard against Twitch is people have said, well, it's not your content anymore, it's Amazon's content. So you're telling me that the content you create on Facebook is your content as well? No, that is not the case. If Facebook wants to use your content, they can. Because one, you're not paying for their service, and two, it's their servers that are running your Facebook account. So at any time, if they want to, they can go ahead and shut down. They can go ahead and take your content and do what they want with it. If you want your content to be your own, it's real simple. Keep it on your own server or don't put it online at all. This is not even open for discussion. I mean, that is ownership of content. If you are reliant on another platform and you're not paying for that platform, then that's the only way you can truly keep your content your own. And I'd be more than happy to debate this with people. But I have been creating, I can honestly say I have been creating content longer than most people on Twitch. I'm just going to go out and say that. That doesn't make me that doesn't make me any better than anybody else. It just means I have a little more experience at it. And the content that I've seen on Twitch, the content that I've seen in podcasting over the years, it's humbling. I feel lucky that I've created the content that I've created that has led to Podcasting for Dummies and Twitch for Dummies. I feel blessed. I feel very fortunate. But if you think when people think that their content is the be all and end all, and their content don't stink, that's when I say, take a step back and really look at the content that's being produced out there. It's stunning. Perfect example. Again, I said this wasn't going to be a Destiny thing, but we're bringing it back to Destiny. All roads lead back to Destiny. This guy who goes by the name of Byf, BYF, and his channel is My Name is Byf. This guy did a 90-minute film about the lore of two guns in Destiny 2. It's the connection between the Thorn and the Last Word. I haven't even finished it, but oh my God, stunning. It's just amazing content, and it inspires me to work to make better content. It really does inspire me to do that. Acer asks, so what are some of the best places to grab a server like that? I know the way YouTube and similar services get you to use their services is their simplicity. Exactly. That's the trick. It can also sometimes be in the terms of service. You got to look at the terms of service. And as dry as a read as that is, it's always good to check what their terms of service are. And if money is exchanging hands, there better not be any question of ownership. If you're paying another service to help you get the content out, there's got to be some kind of rider in those terms of service that says, look, this is your content. And you're paying us for rent space. Now, the downside, Acer, of hosting your own content and doing stuff on your own is that when it breaks, you got to fix it, and that sucks. Yes, you can pay extra for content I'm blanking on it. Customer support and tech support. Yeah, you can do that, but 9 times out of 10, you're the one responsible for tech support. That's the downside. Now, for all of our podcasts, for the podcast that my wife and I create together, we use a website called DreamHost, and DreamHost is a web host server. They're web host, and that is we pay for that service, and they give us space, and we put our podcasts up there. Boom. Happy Hour from the Tower, it's a DreamHost. Shared Desk, DreamHost. Our blogs, DreamHost. If you were to ask me on a scale of 1 to 10 how they've been support-wise and things like that, I would say maybe a 7. One thing I can't do right now that I would really like to figure out what to do to get to that, and maybe there's a plugin. I'm gonna search, because they're always updating their plugins for their websites. One thing I haven't been able to do with any of my podcasts yet is get them onto Spotify, and I would love to get them onto Spotify. But a a podcast host service that does that, Libsyn, and that's Libsyn. I will put their link in the shows, or in chat. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Audio video unsync. What do you mean by that? Is my audio and video out of sync? If that's the case, that again is my that's my video card trying to work with trying to keep up. So it may go away. It's leading just a bit. Oh, dang. Yeah. Now keep in mind, one of the other things I do, the reason why I do this particular type of streaming from a Mac is to show people 2 things. One, you can stream off of a Mac. Anyone who tells you that you can't stream on a Mac is feeding you a line. The second reason is to see what the limitations are, and right now I think I'm getting that. Libsyn. No, not Libyan. Jesus. Okay. So that's Libsyn. That's Libsyn.com right there. Okay. And what Libsyn does is that Libsyn stands for Liberated Syndication. And they have basically a turnkey service to allow, they will host the blog for you. They will maintain the RSS feed for you. Yeah. And you know what? The old school podcasters used Libsyn back in the day, Monkey. They're still using it. It is still going strong. It is like the go-to service. Now, there are other services like it. Podbean, PodTrack, I think, is another one. There are other services like Libsyn, but as I like to say about it, often imitated, never duplicated. Libsyn is still like a go-to service for people. And this is going back to what Acer had asked. If you're looking for something a little more turnkey that would offer you hands-on customer support, I always recommend Libsyn. The same guys that I knew back in the day that started Libsyn, they're still running Libsyn, and they're all good people, and they all work hard, and they're all fantastic. And that's one of the other things though about Twitch in general is that, you know, streaming has become far easier than when I was starting off in podcasting. And while it has gotten easier, it's not seamless by any stretch of the imagination. Not seamless by any stretch. So when it comes to, you know, getting things to work properly, but let me just, since I'm going away from this, yeah. So that is kind of for me the dividing line between what a stream is versus what a podcast is. The podcast, it's really just you're putting out content and you're sharing content until an RSS feed comes in. Then it's podcasting, and then you have a physical copy on your player or something like that. And I've been podcasting since to give you some more background on me. I've been podcasting since 2005. I'm the first author to take a novel and from cover to cover podcast it. And I did it one chapter at a time, unless it was a really big chapter. One chapter at a time, one podcast episode at a time. And when I started podcasting Moravia, like it was within a matter of weeks. I was working with a group called the Dragon Page. That was Michael R. Menegay and Evo Terra, and I started doing this just to see, hey, maybe this is a great idea to get some hype up for the next book, right? And then this guy named Mark Jeffrey contacted the Dragon Page and said, "I would love to do this. I've done a YA novel. Would you like to podcast that?" And then, like a week or two after Mark started, this guy named Scott Sigler stepped up and he said, "Hey man, I want to go ahead and bring my horror novel." And that's my best. That is my best and only. Wait a minute, is that today? No, that is not today. Is that today? Oh crap. That's today. Oh, I suck. I just realized I just got a reminder today. That I'm supposed to be in Harrisonburg in 2.5 hours. That ain't happening. Oh, that sucks. But I managed to I managed to do it, and I didn't realize what I was undertaking until I did it. I got the date screwed up. Okay, give me 1 second, chat. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see if I can't reschedule that. Eta Omicron chapter. First, I got to find the group. Give me. Please hold, everybody. Please hold. There it is. Oh, nuts. Not to be the day I can get away to JMU. Is there any way I can reschedule? Again, my apologies. I feel terrible. I was okay. So I will explain what's going on here. So basically, at my alma mater, James Madison University, the band fraternity that I'm a member of, my marching band is so big, we have our own fraternity. Yeah, it's pretty spot on. I tell people that in high school you had band boosters. In college, you have a band fraternity, and my band fraternity, KK Psi, they are showing at today's meeting. They're showing this video of the 25th anniversary of our chapter, and they were hoping to get alumni to come out and talk about the video, talk about stuff that's in it. And as far as I could tell, no other alumni stepped forward to talk about it. I said, "Well, would you like the guy that made the movie? Would you like him to come in and talk about the experience?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, we'd love that." Turns out that was today, and I've got my day booked. So I'm reaching out and saying, "Guys, can we do a reschedule? Because I would love to come in and talk. It's just today's not that day." Please enjoy a message from our sponsors. Yeah, Wiley Publishing, producers of podcasting and Twitch for Dummies. That's a different Dummies book altogether. Time Management for Dummies. Jeez. I need that book. I need that book desperately. So anyway, so the three of us, me, Siggy, and Jeffrey, the three of us got together, and we didn't really physically get together, but we started this movement. And Monkey will write that book. Fantastic. So anyway, but I'm gonna start tomorrow. So anyway, so the three of us started podcasting novels, and that led to other people jumping in with us. Myrna Lafferty, for example, she was podcasting short fiction. So she did a whole collection of short fiction and eventually podcast a few novels with a group called Podiobooks.com that I helped put together with Evo Terra and another guy named Chris Miller. And this is all back in 2005, and we were all flying by the seat of our pants. Podcasting was it really was a Wild West frontier of technology, and it was that sort of that sort of content creation that led to other services cropping up. And one of the things I remember that cropped up was this thing called TalkShoe, and TalkShoe was the ability of recording podcasts live, being able to produce an audio file from it, all these different things. And yeah, it was great in concept, but man, if you didn't have the right system and the right extensions and the right operating software, it was a mess to try to get right. I could never get TalkShoe to work. I feel that Twitch is really the evolution of podcasting. It's the next logical step. If you're creating content and you're creating podcasts, it's the next logical step to go into. And what you can do with all this content that you create, and I'm going to go back to this presentation, is you can take, like, for example, this gameplay here. Now, this gameplay I didn't pull necessarily from the Twitch feed. I pulled it from my own PS4 feed. I saved the game when it was done. And one of the things that you can do is, whether you want to do it from the feed or whether you want to do it from the actual game itself, you can create breakdown episodes, right? And then that is exclusive podcasting content that you won't get on the stream. Now, Twitch has now made it possible that if I wanted to, if I've got a video episode of a podcast, I can upload that as a special premiere video, and then that can also run as part of my Twitch feed. So there's a lot you can do in the way of recycling your content, of breathing new life into old content. You can repeat old shows, which is kind of nice. And there's highlight reels. All this we go into in the book. But if you were going to go on ahead and you were going to you wanted to go on ahead and create a breakdown video, let me show you one of the things you can do. Like right now at the beginning of this video, I'm showing from the bridge that there's a shortcut there, right? There's a shortcut you can take. And I wonder if I can mute that without muting myself. Yes, I can. Now, it looks a little choppy because right now I'm working this computer hard. This is an 11-year-old computer. Actually, I take it back. It's a 12-year-old computer. And the fact that I'm able to stream off of it and play iMovie, it's working hard. It's working hard. So what I'm showing is this shortcut instead of having to go around. Now, if I wanted to slow that down so that people could see how to get to this point, I can do this. I can go on ahead and I can pause it. I can stop the video there, and then I can go up here to the different options that are offered in iMovie. And there's this one option called speed, right? Oh, hey Unicorn, how are you? And under speed, I can do I have several options. I can go ahead and leave it at normal. I can do and I've seen this on a lot of tutorial videos on Destiny. Some people, when there's dead space, they just do a fast forward, and that's an option. And I'll show you where we would do that in this video. But you see, I've got normal, slow, fast, and then I've got something called freeze frame. If I select freeze frame, you'll then notice in the menu that I've got a section that's isolated right here, and currently it's at a default time of 3 seconds. That is roughly how long this freeze frame is going to be. What I would do is I can either grab the handles in the clip itself, or I can just go up to this window where it says duration of 3 seconds, double click that, and then say, you know what, make that 10 seconds. You'll now notice that the freeze frame is a lot larger. In fact, I think I can zoom in on that so you can see it. Yeah. This bar right here in the top right hand corner, this bar that I'm currently circling, this bar allows you to zoom in and zoom out. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Whoops. But you'll notice that when this bar in the top right hand corner next to settings, next to the term settings, that's where you can zoom in and zoom out. And you notice that now I have a 10-second freeze frame. So why would I do that? Okay. When you're creating a breakdown video, one of the things you can do is go on ahead and watch the video. You're going to watch this video. This is a 6-minute video, but you're going to watch it several times over. And you're going to watch it, and you're going to watch it. And then you get the idea of, oh, on this spot, I want to say this. On this spot, I want to say this. And right now I have 10 seconds of freeze frame, where if I'm doing a voiceover, I can go on ahead in real time and play back. And during that 10-second break, I can say, at this point, you have gone on ahead and you've drank your tincture of Queen's Foil. You find that in your consumables, in your consumables inventory. Once you've drank the tincture of Queen's Foil, you have roughly 20 to 30 minutes of being ascendant. What I'm showing you here is the advantages of being ascendant is that you'll find a shortcut. Instead of having to go the long way through the observatory and through a few more stages where you might have to deal with ads, you can go ahead and take this shortcut. In the time it takes me to say that, this video will, and then we'll go ahead and start from the beginning so you can see it in real time. And the voiceover would go something like this. So we're ready to start our journey into the Ascendant Challenge. Right now, we have to get to that tower you see in the distance. I could, if I wanted to, cut through the observatory, take a long way around, eventually reach the observatory, or after drinking the tincture of Queen's Foil, when you're ascendant, you see things that you don't normally see. And in this case, you'll see there's a floating platform. I can now just jump from the bridge and take this shortcut. Now, it's a little hairy because you don't see the rock until you're right underneath it. You then go up to the edge, you'll see the start of another rock. You jump there. And then there's the third platform. You just go on ahead and drop there. And now you have a nice little shortcut to this area. And now you're at the platform where the tower is. And we can get to the Ascendant Challenge from here pretty easily. So that's why you would do a freeze frame. It gives you a chance to go on ahead and literally tell people, this is what I'm looking at. This is the importance of what you're looking at. And now we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to play on that. You jump from one mountain ridge to another mountain ridge. And eventually you'll hear the portal to the Ascendant Challenge. Jump on over. And now we're in the Ascendant Plane. This is the Shattered Ruins Challenge. And you're going to see platforms emerge from the shadows. Take your time. If you are not interested in completing the time challenge, then just go on ahead and just take your time across. Now, on this particular challenge, you'll see those floating orbs. Okay. And it would be here that I would go back up to freeze frame. And now, because my playhead is at 1 minute 34, I can go in and say, yes, at 1:34, go on ahead and give me another freeze frame. This one, I don't think I'm going to need 10 seconds. I'm just going to need 5. So now I've got a freeze frame of 5 seconds. And while I'm creating this video, now this may not work for you, it works for me. But as I create the video, I go on ahead and I do a test run of what I'm going to say. I want to hear myself. I'm not necessarily, now I'm taking notes, but I'm not necessarily writing down the voiceover. I'm trying to keep it fresh. I'm trying to keep it spontaneous. And if you want to write out your voiceover, because on the voiceover, as you've seen in previous episodes of Happy Hour from the Tower, which, by the way, Unicorn put that link up there, and thank you again, Unicorn. In those segments, the video segments where you see the actual breakdown, I don't have a script in front of me, but I've rehearsed it, and I've talked about it, and then I'll go on ahead and record. Before we're done here, I'll go ahead and show you what that would look like. So I'm going to back up the playhead a few seconds. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to hit play. And you'll watch it freeze frame when we get to that one segment. So we're in the ascended plane. And since I'm not worried about time trial, I'm not going to go ahead and concern myself with getting through this too quickly. But you'll see in the distance those small orbs. Those orbs are explosive. So the trick here is to keep moving. Because once you get into proximity of those orbs will explode. Now, I want to go back and I would like to show you the way I cheesed this jump. And and how I would do that is, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just do. All right. So I jumped to, I do a jump. This would be another good spot. This would be another good spot for a freeze frame. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to say, give me another freeze frame. And then this time, I'm going to move my playhead to the end of the freeze frame, and I'm going to create a basic edit. And the basic edit is under Modify. And you'll see I've got something that says Split Clip. So what exactly does that do? Okay, Split Clip will take a continuous clip, and it will literally make a little cut. All right? Now, you might think, well, wait a minute, don't I already have a cut over here in the edit menu? You do, but that's not the same thing. You're not making a cut as in to cut and then paste it onto a clipboard and yada yada yada. This is not cut, copy, paste. This is actually creating now 2 different clips. Okay? You're seeing that. I'm going to go back to this clip. And this time I'm going to place my cursor, which you don't see here. Sorry about that. But you'll see that it's at the very beginning. The playhead and everything is illuminated at the very beginning. I'm now going to click and drag to the left. You'll get a little measurement, a little time signature measurement, and I tend to go back. Let's see. Right now it's at 4:30. I'm going to move back, and you'll see that I can actually get a preview of it. I'm going to move back to roughly. 4:31:10. So we'll see how this looks. So now when you play it back, it's going to look like this. So it goes up. I do a quick little pause here. And you'll notice what happened there. I went on ahead and I started moving forward, and then I veered off. And what I'm doing is I'm making the clip a little longer. I'm going to split this. I'm going to split this clip again. And then because this is selected, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to make the speed slow and at 25%. So now the clip is going to. This is how the playback should look. It's paused. We then get into play. This is where I would go on ahead and I would say, yeah, these are explosive, so the trick is to keep moving. Now, I've made a jump here, but here's the problem. I then veer over to the right, to the left. This is bad, and not to mention a little dangerous, because I need to make sure in this challenge, because that one's about to explode, I don't stop moving. I've got to keep ascending. I have to keep going up. I have to keep going up. That's the trick of this. And once the charges explode, they will do damage to you. So then you're going to want to throw a rift to protect yourself. All right, now I'm just going to stop it there. This is me again practicing the voiceover and also mapping out the video clip so I can see what I can and can't do with it. To see where I want to have a pause, where I want to slow it down, where I want to speed it up, that sort of thing. This is a process called logging. When you log a clip, you're basically watching it over and over again, and you're looking for the sweet spots to be able to edit, to make changes, and to make it tell the story that you want to tell. Okay. So for argument's sake, let's say we want to record a voiceover. How would we do that? All right. First thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go ahead and if you're curious, how do I make sure that I save my project? If you always want to make sure that you save a project in iMovie, up at the top left corner, you'll see something that says projects. Go ahead and click on that, and automatically it will ask you for a prompt if you haven't already to give your project a name. And the name I'm going to give this project is Ascendant Challenge. Oh, I didn't spell Ascendant right. Ascendant Challenge Breakdown. And then once it's saved, you'll be taken back to all the different projects that you've got here. And as you can see, I've got a wide array of different projects here that I've worked with in the past. And anytime you want to get back to a project in iMovie, all you got to do is click onto it. You double click onto it, you're brought back right to where you left off. Now, if you don't have iMovie, don't worry about it. There are plenty of other video editors that are out there for both PC and even Linux that are just as easy. I can't speak for them. I don't know. I've never worked with them. The software packages that I've worked with in the past have been iMovie, Final Cut, and Premiere. That was the level that I was editing at. I was never quite Avid level, but I was Premiere, Final Cut level. Never had to deal with Elements. But now Premiere Elements is something that runs on both Windows and Macs, and it's also very affordable, very easy to use. If you get a Mac though, iMovie comes with it, so it's kind of a no-brainer. So I'm just going ahead and I'm just giving you all the perspective that I've got here. Now we're going to start from the very beginning again. And this time I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see how this all works. Okay. Now, keep in mind, chat. Keep in mind, what I'm doing here is completely off the top of my head, and I'm also kind of free-forming it as I go. This will not be the end result. This will not be the be-all and end-all end result. I'm actually going to edit this video on an entirely different day. All right. So let's go on ahead and let's talk about how we would make a voiceover for this. If you look underneath to the if you look at the preview window, that's what that window is where you see the video itself. The preview window, off to the lower left of that, you'll see a microphone. That microphone is record voiceover. So one click, and you'll start recording. So, how good is that voiceover going to sound? It's going to depend on the gear you're using. The gear I'm currently using is really good gear. I mean, this is professional quality gear. It's the joys of being a podcaster. You really get to know your audio gear, and that is still one of the most aggravating things about Twitch for me is audio. I can never quite get audio the way I want it to be. And what I have discovered in my ups and downs, pros and cons, and trials and tribulations of working with audio is a lot of it rests on the audio card that you're using for capture. As many of you know, when I get the PSN chat going, I have a slight echo, and I struggle with that. And then one day I went back and I looked at a particular gaming session I was having with a guy named Chavez, not Chevlar, but Chavez, B.A. Chavez. Good guy, B.A. Chavez. And Shav and I were, Chavez. It's Shav is Shavlar. Chavez. Excuse me. And Chavez was giving me some instruction, and we were going back and forth. And what I noticed was that Chavez's voice was coming in nice and clear, and then it slowly degraded into an echo. Then it came back, and it was nice and clear. Then it went back into an echo. That is a situation called latency. I know I'm breaking away from the video. I'm going to get back to it in a second. But that is coming from latency. Latency occurs when the audio card cannot keep up with the data that's being fed into it. So what the end result is a delay, a slight delay, or an echo. So for me, that means I'm going to probably need to get a brand new or a better, not a brand new, a better audio card. I'm not ready to make that investment yet because I'm very happy with the setup I got. And one of the things I've noticed, one of the other things I've noticed about the streamers that I watch is they try to simplify things. If they're going to have music, like I got music playing in the background right now, I got some chill music playing in the background. Some of them may use that, some of them may not. But that's the most complicated they make their feed. They're not worried about getting PS4 people in on chat. A good example is Tiddlywinks. Tids, she tends to not have her fire team on comms. And that's fine. If she doesn't want to have her team on comms, she doesn't have to have her team on comms. But it also makes things a lot more easy for the streamer if the only audio you're concerned with is your own. Right? Real quick, if anybody's curious, I'm using, that looks weird. Oh, that's because it's all in green. The label's in green, so you really can't see it. But this right here, chat, this is the beer-based lotion that I brought back from the beer spa that I attempted to stream from this fall, back in October. That was an experience, chat. That was an experience. But man, this lotion is bae. I love this lotion. All right, so let's get back to this. We're going to talk about recording a voiceover. So the voiceover will be as good as the audio gear that is plugged into your machine. Do you need studio quality, studio-based gear? No, you do not. USB mics have become extremely affordable and extremely reliable in the 10, 15 years that I've seen them come out in the market. Some of them are pretty dicey their first go around, but that was because they were really pushing the boat out. Probably one of the best brands to use when it comes to USB mics is Blue. Blue makes the Snowball and they make the Yeti. Those are fantastic mics, absolutely fantastic mics, and those are I highly recommend those mics. They are reliable, they're easy, they're plug and play. They work on PCs, they work on Macs. Great stuff. So with my mic, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to just focus for a minute on the video itself, and we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to do this, and I'll show you this as an example. So I'm going to click record. I'm going to get a 3-second countdown, and then I start. So as we are about to start the Ascendant Challenge, you got to make sure that you take your tincture of Queensfoil, because what happens is that you become Ascendant, and you'll see that instead of having to go through the observatory and all this windy way to get to the tower that we need to reach, I'm now Ascendant, and I can now see these floating platforms. I can only see these platforms when I'm Ascendant, and these platforms give me a really nice shortcut from the bridge leading to the observatory to the first plateau that I reach in heading towards the rift that's going to take me over to the Ascendant Plane. Now, they're called the Ascendant Challenge for a reason. The Ascendant Challenge means there's something having to do probably with jump skills, having to do with ad control, and also just having to do with plain skill at the game. And as you see here, right now I've cleared to one platform, or one plateau. I'm going to the other plateau. And if I was in game and I had the sound turned up, you would also hear, because I'm Ascendant, I can hear that rift which is open over there. Now, it's not too hard. I just have to make a quick jump, give myself a boost so I can glide in, and now I'm at the Shattered Ruins. You'll notice, if this is your first time going into an Ascendant Challenge, that it is dark, but the platforms that you need to jump on, they will eventually emerge into the shadows. And the trick about the Ascendant Challenge, especially if I'm trying to meet the time challenge, is that I keep moving. This one in particular, because you see those orbs in the background, or those orbs ahead of me, those orbs are explosive. When I get near them, they will explode. So the trick is to keep moving. And if I'm near these, they're also going to do some damage. But you'll also notice that I am jumping that way, and then I veer over to the left. That's the reason why it's called a challenge. Yes, I could have gone to that platform. There was no need to. I could just go on ahead and make a quick jump here. My goal is to get to that center platform, but already I've taken damage because one of those mines have already gone off. Now I got 4 to contend with. So I jump high to get out of their blast range, and the next thing I do, I immediately throw down a rift. That way I can heal. Once these explosives go off, they're done. Now I'm trying to get my bearings. I got to figure out where I'm going. I'm going towards those steps. All right. That's a good example of how we would go on ahead and create a voiceover. You'll notice that now I have, and I'm going to zoom out a little more so you can see it in its entirety. I now have a second audio track. That second audio track is going to be my voiceover. And that voiceover, I can go on ahead and I can edit. If there's any weird pauses, I can go on ahead and take that out. It may be out of sync from some of the other audio. And I do not necessarily have to do this in one take. If I want, I can find a place where I screwed up. I can hit that record button again. I go back into voiceover mode. I hit the record button. I can record over mistakes I make. But that gives you an idea of what you're looking at. And what I tend to do with my voiceover reels is I will take the actual game audio and I will take it down to roughly 25%, because I want to make sure that people aren't focusing on the audio in the game unless it's really important. I will instead say go on ahead and focus more on the audio in here, because the focus should be on the voiceover. On the voiceover itself, the voiceover track, and what you're talking about, the message you want to get across. I'm going to pause here real quick because I need to get some water. I got some water right here. Remember, stay hydrated when you stream. I'm going to be on stream well into probably 6, 7 o'clock tonight. So I try to stay hydrated as possible. No, coffee does not count. No energy drinks do not count. I'm talking water. Caffeine dehydrates you. Now, real quick, if you decide, yeah, okay, I'll hydrate, but man, I just hate water because it's so plain tasting. I'm going to recommend this kind of water bottle. I love this water bottle because it's an infuser. You see inside there's a little infuser, and I just stuff it with fruit. I got in here mango, oranges, and strawberries. And this is the Hydracy. That's HYDRACY, the Hydracy bottles. If anybody from Hydracy is watching, yes, I am open for sponsorships. I'd love to get a sponsorship from you guys. So does anybody have any questions so far about what we talked about? Content creation, what to do with video, anything like that? I'll give everybody a second to gather their thoughts. And thank you all for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. While I wait for questions, I will tell you that probably one of the toughest things to do when you start streaming, one of the toughest things to do is to keep talking, especially when you don't feel like anybody's watching. That is the toughest thing about streaming. And unlike podcasting, where I can just create content, throw it out there, and not care who's listening, who's watching, or what have you, with Twitch, it has kind of become the priority. Because if you want to advance, if you want to go from beginning streamer to affiliate, if you want to go from affiliate to partner, you got to have the numbers to back the swagger. And that's hard. I mean, in all fairness, when it comes to being a partner, I've got 2 out of 3. I am streaming more than enough content. They ask for 25 hours of original content. I'm streaming like 125 hours in a 30-day period. They're asking that you stream more than I think it's 3 or 4 days out of the week. You average 3 to 4 days a week. I'm streaming 6. that stuff I've got covered. You know, I've got the days. You know, oh no, I take that back. It's like 12 months, 12 days out of the month, out of a 30-day period, you're streaming. I'm streaming 24 to 30. I got that covered. It's when it comes to viewers and the analytics, and that's where it gets frustrating. If I want to be a partner, I have to average 75 viewers. 75 viewers in 30 days. Right now, I'm averaging 5.5. And currently, I have 6 viewers. According to Twitch, I have 6 viewers. And you know what? That's cool. I got 6 people. I got 6 more people than I had than when I did my first stream like this. And at some points, I was just staring at a big fat 0. But it's something that Twitch compels you to watch, that you have to keep track of. And it's not only frustrating, it's a little aggravating, because at some point you'll be at 8, and then some point you'll be at 10, and then some point you'll be at 12, and then you drop down to 4. And you're like, what did I say? It's not something that you said. Some people just dropped off. Some people just went on ahead, and some people are allergic to cats, like this little guy right here. Yeah, get your... There's Benedict, everybody. There's Benedict. So it is something that you have to pay attention to, unfortunately. But if you are streaming to get numbers, if you are streaming to get rich, if you are streaming just to even reach partnership, you might be streaming for the wrong reasons. Because when you're streaming, it shouldn't necessarily be about getting to the next level or income. It should be because you want to. It should be because it's a passion. And I'm not saying everybody that's streaming is currently streaming because it's their passion. There are some people who stream because they're like, this is the next big thing and I want in. And that's fine. If you are a glutton for punishment and you want to subject yourself to that kind of punishment, be my guest. It's your call. As far as I'm concerned, there are people that have been doing this long enough that they've got partnered, and now they're podcasting. I caught myself. And now they're streaming, and it is their passion, and it's always been their passion. Now they're making it their job, and that's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. And there are going to be times when they don't want to stream, but they're like, you know what? I'm going to take a day off, or they're going to be like, you know, I'm gonna put on my big boy pants. I'm gonna go to work. You know. As for me, I look at myself as a passionate streamer, a passionate gamer, a passionate writer, and I'm looking to try to help people that if they want to do what I'm doing, if they want to know the process behind what I'm doing, by all means, I'm open for questions. I would be more than happy to help you out. And that was what Twitch for Dummies turned out to be. Twitch for Dummies turned out to be that love letter, as I was telling you about. And it is my hopes, similar to Podcasting for Dummies, where people say, you know what, I wanted to figure out how to stream, and I saw Twitch for Dummies, and now right now I know there are people who are buying the book just to say I bought the book. And that's, don't get me wrong, that's a very cool thing. It is a very cool thing, and I love that. But when I hear the stories about people who are saying, yeah, I didn't know a thing about Twitch, and I didn't know a thing about podcasting, and I picked up the book, and now I'm learning how to stream. You know, it's great. You know, that sort of thing. That's fine. That's fine. Why can't it be enough that it's a good movie? Oh. I think this is in this. Yeah, that's in response to something else. So let me just see if I had any questions dropped in on. Let's see. I had someone just like my comment about the Matrix movie, but that's something entirely different. Okay, so nothing there. No questions on... Oh, hang on. Something not enough content creators do. Oh, this is Acer. Thank you, Acer. This is something not enough content creators do. I love that T is sharing his knowledge with all of us. If you're wanting to get into podcasting or streaming, stop by and get some tips. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Actually, I'm going to try to make this more of a thing that I do on Sunday afternoons, preferably not when I'm supposed to be in Harrisonburg, which is 2.5 hours away. I'm not going to make it. Sorry, guys. No, I've always been of the mindset that that content creators are some of the most giving people out there, whether they are podcasters, whether they are streamers, whether they are gamers, or whether they have. I mean, people love to talk shop. So when it comes to gear, you'll find that a lot of people hop onto other people's streams and they go, "Hey, what's your gear?" But you'll also notice that is such a common question for for streamers that now when you go to their pages, they actually have a breakdown of here's my setup, and then they just go, or they even have a separate web page set up, and then when people go, yeah, what's your gear, they just have a command gear, and boom, they get taken to there. As for me, I would love to make this a regular thing on my stream, where like maybe every other Sunday afternoon, I come on and I go, hey, let's talk. Let's talk turkey. Let's talk mechanics. Let's talk about the ups and downs of being a streamer. And really, that's probably one of the biggest ups and downs right there, is just watching the numbers fluctuate. But I'll tell you where it does get rewarding. And I'm gonna pull my wife into this, even though she's currently in the editing zone. I'm going to talk about her because she's right there. So last night, my wife and I were doing a Saturday edition of Philippa's Freaky Friday. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with my stream, first off, thank you very much for joining me on this little intimate talk about content creation and streaming and podcasting and all that. We did this thing called Philippa's Freaky Friday, where when I'm streaming, okay, or I'm playing video games, Pip will sometimes come in. Oh, now she's got the nod. But Pip comes in, and she will heckle me off mic while I'm there trying to get something done in the game. Well, we were watching Lulu's stream when she was streaming God of War, and Pip was like, "Oh, I could get into that game. I could really get into that game." And I said, okay, here's the deal. I will buy you that game. But the condition is we stream it. And when we stream it, you can be off camera, but you're on mic. And I get to heckle you. And she said, oh, I love that idea. So we did Philippa's Freaky Friday, and it wound up being a big hit. Now, granted, we were floating around between 4 to 6 people watching us. And even then, there were some times where nobody was watching us. And the worst thing about streaming when you're streaming off of a PS4 is that, especially if you have Nightbot set up as I do, and it sets off auto messages, which mine does, it will tell you how many people are watching. And at some points, we saw one person was watching, nobody was watching. That's when we started. Last night, though, we averaged like 13 people. That may not seem like a lot, but to me, that's like, wow, double digits. Oh. And it's a step forward. It is a step forward. Progression is very important, whether it's in podcasting or in streaming. And what I try to do with my stream, instead of focusing on the numbers, even though I have to because of the desire to become a partner. Sure, I'd love to be a partner. I'd like to have the badge next to my name, of course. It's no different than some of the awards you get in Destiny. But the trick is, I want to earn that and move forward, move to the next step. Because the next step after becoming a partner is, okay, now I need to build on my community. I need to get onto like the front page like Zach did, stuff like that. It's all a matter of forward momentum. And for Pip last night when we were watching the stream, I was like, wow, that was fun. Maybe killing the dragon wasn't a lot of fun, but we did do it. But then I saw the numbers and I'm like, not bad, baby, not bad. And that was basically that wasn't even part of the schedule. That was just something we did off the cuff, and really, it's about having a good time. It's about having a good time. And this is something I struggle with. I get very wrapped up in the game. I'm the first one to say that. I get really, really wrapped up in the game. I want to win. I want to improve as a player, right? And two folks, very two regulars on the stream, two people I absolutely adore. I love them to pieces. Real Munchie and Big Marvinsky again. They actually was taking me. They took me aside, and they were like, T, you're starting to lose some focus here. You're starting to get a little too toxic. You're starting to get a little wrapped up in things. And I had to take a step back and look at it, and I now understand where they were coming from. And I also feel like I had a little flashback to when I was an actor. I was part of this group called Comedy Sports, and I gotta describe the setup. So Comedy Sports is basically improv theater games, and they are franchised all across the country. And pardon me. And the format is you have 4 or 5, depending on who's available. You have a 4-on-4, maybe a 3-on-3, 5-on-5, and it's 2 teams and a referee. And what happens is that you compete for points, and the audience votes on who they think is what was better with the suggestions and things like that, right? And that's the format of Comedy Sports. Well, thing was, I got really wrapped up in winning. I needed to win. Red team. If I was on red team was going to win. If I was on the blue team was going to win. I'm going to win, right? And one night I was a little, I was less than professional. I'll just come out and say it. I was less than professional. I wasn't working with the team. I was working in a bubble. And one of the actors that was involved, a guy named Jim Neeb, really good guy, Jim Neeb. He is out west right now, and he is a professional working actor. That is his job, period. And if you would ask me, do I think he's a success? Absolutely. Because 1, that's all he does is act. And 2, I saw a commercial that he was in. He did like a Ford commercial. And I saw it in New Zealand. Now granted, I knew it was Jim. Most people wouldn't know Jim. They wouldn't recognize Jim if they saw him. But the thing was, I saw him in this commercial. And I'm like, that's awesome. And that's where he's making his, he's living the dream. It's not easy, but he's doing it. Anyway, Jim and I were having a conversation about this particular night. And I said, and I remember the words came out before I could stop them. I said, but Jim, I don't understand. I'm a good player, I'm there to win. And Jim's like, that's the problem. You're not there to win. The audience doesn't care if you win. The audience is there to be entertained. And when he said that, like a switch threw in my head. And the next time I came in, I just said, I'm not there to win. I'm here to entertain. And I actually have a videotape of my recent performances after that. And after that moment, everything changed. Everything changed. And now I understood, Computer King, how you doing, man? That's something I've always liked about you. You have that self-awareness to be introspective when appropriate. Thank you. It's taken me almost 50 years to master. But no, I realized that's the same thing with streaming. People don't come to my stream. They do not come to my stream to get the Vish plays, because you've seen how I platform. You've seen the frustration I get. I am not the greatest Destiny player. I'm not. And video games in general, I'm not Ninja. I'm not Lupo. And if you want to go into the Destiny sphere, I'm not Dado. I'm not Bife. But you know who I am? I am me. And if you're coming to my stream and you're entertained, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be having a good time. You're supposed to be having a good time watching me have a good time. And maybe that involves me getting the Vish play. And sometimes I will get the Vish play. I don't deny that. I'll get the Vish play. I'll get that Army of One in Gambit or something like that. And then, and phenomenal. Yeehaw. But that is not the gamer I am. You watch me because I'm entertaining. Because I'm there to have fun. And if you're having fun, I'm having fun. Or if I'm having fun, hopefully you're having fun. And I think that's streaming in general. Streaming in general is it's not about the game. It's about you. It's about you, the host. And Monkey, you say, I don't know anything about the games you play. I'm here for tales of writing and publishing. And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. And I will take questions I will gladly, Monkey, take questions on. In fact, some of the best conversations we have had bright and early in the mornings have all dealt with publishing and writing. I want to say, if it wasn't last week, it was the week before, but somebody came in and said, well, I have a question. I have a question about publishing, and I was curious, where do you feel like the failure with ebooks is happening with publishers? And I want to say, and this is while I'm doing stuff in Destiny, it was like 30 minutes to an hour about the advantages of being a traditional published author versus an indie published author, the ups and downs of creating ebooks, and the ups and downs of how do we price to these things, and also there was another time where I talked about the process of how do you write a dummies book, and I'll give you this little peek behind the curtain over at the dummies offices. My editor will go to he'll go and do a live appearance somewhere, right? And he will come back. He will literally come back with a fistful of business cards, all people saying, I have an idea for Dummies book. And Steve will all give him the same thing. He'll be like, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. I know you got an idea for a Dummies book. Here's the link. Fill out the proposal. And after you do that proposal, you're ready to go. He says, if I'm lucky, I will hear back from, let's say he comes back with 100 business cards. If he's lucky, he'll hear from 10. And if he hears from 10 of those, maybe 5 of those people will follow up. And out of those 5 that follow up, none of them will do what he suggests to make their proposal ready. So yeah, think about that for a second. There's an open door policy. There is an open door policy of getting stuff published for Dummies. But you've got to have a very specific format, and the amount of work you put just in the proposal is ridiculous. But it makes sense, because you say, okay, I'm putting in this proposal. If you're willing to put in the work for the proposal, then obviously you're ready to put in the work for you're ready to put the work in for the book itself, right? Now, going another step further with the whole process of writing a For Dummies book, one of the things that they do force you to do is look at the competition. How many other books are out there concerning podcasting or concerning Twitch? And both times that I did podcasting and Twitch for Dummies, I was looking at the books that were published. And for Twitch, they were all published through Amazon Creative. They were all self-published. There was no mainstream book about Twitch. And it wasn't necessarily about how to stream. It was about how to make money. This is how you're going to make money playing video games. Here's how you make money playing video games. And that's a big difference between this is how you learn how to stream versus this is how we make money. I do have a section in Twitch for Dummies where I talk about that, where I talk about the process of creating... Hold on a second. We might have a standoff between kittes. No, we don't. You okay there, little guy? You okay there? He did get his drugs this morning, by the way. Even though I didn't stream, he did get medicated this morning, just so you know. So I had that. Now with podcasting, it was a little different. There were other books about podcasting out. And especially when the 3rd edition came out, I had to step forward and say, here's my proposal for a 3rd edition. Why are we doing this again? Well, we're doing this again for a third time because the second edition is almost 10 years old, and it's still showing up in the top 5 books on podcasting. And we needed to do it. We needed to gut this book, and sure enough, we did. We gutted that book hard. There's a lot of stuff that Chuck and I just went through, and whew, that was an intense rewrite. Now some chapters we didn't have to touch, but there are some others that, man, that was intense. As far as Twitch for Dummies goes, though, I didn't focus so much. I had a section of the book that was like, okay, you want to make revenue from Twitch? Here's how you do it. This is what you have to do. But as far as the rest of the book is not about here's how you make money playing video games. I was more focused on here's how we get it going. This is the struggle that you're looking at. And when I say struggle, what I mean by struggle is just making sure that everything works properly. Now, granted, what makes it easy for video games, see, I can't do this sort of stream. I was trying to figure out if I could do this sort of stream straight off my PS4, and it's just not possible. But one thing when it comes to streaming video games, that both PlayStation and Xbox have made very simple, is that you can just go on ahead and just plug in one of their proprietary cameras, start your stream, and bada bing, bada boom, you're streaming. That's it. I mean, within 3 steps, you're online. But when you want to do stuff like what I've got here, the custom backgrounds, being able to pull in, say, a presentation right here, where we're looking at how do we create content with video. If I suddenly felt the urge of nature and I said, hey, everybody, be right back. That sort of thing. I jumped to the goodbye one. That's coming later. Don't worry. That sort of stuff. I'm using OBS, and OBS is a little tricky in itself too. And it's been, but what's been great about this whole experience working with my wife and working with. So yeah, yes, I am talking about you, my darling, in the best possible way. Hey, I was talking about how you rocked that dragon last night. Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute, chat. Hold on. I gotta turn this up. Hold on. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. Oh, I love this song. Fundamental work supply as time goes by. Oh, sorry. Quick musical tangent there. Okay. So, but I am really proud of my wife, because when we first started doing Flip Us Freaky Friday, she was off camera. And then I convinced her to do a shared desk on stream. And she was awesome. Oh, hey Pip. Monkey just said Pip played a kick-ass game last night. Excellent axe handling.
My axe handling is getting better.
Yes, it is getting better. But that's the other cool thing though.
I can actually throw it sometimes.
You can throw it sometimes, but
I even occasionally hit things.
But it never gets old when you just stick your hand out. Wouldn't it be great if we all had that power? Just I've lost my phone.
Oh gosh, yes. Someone needs to get on creating that.
But the cool thing is though, Monkey, when she started, she was off camera. She was actually off camera. Then we did our first shared desk together live, and she was like, okay, I think I can kind of get into this. And then when we went back and we did Flip Us Freaky Friday, she was in the background and I was in the foreground. Last night, due to circumstances, I had to have her stay near the camera. She didn't have a problem with it. She did not have a problem with it, and she was a natural. She's been a natural at this. And that's sort of, that's the other thing I think that's kind of cool about Twitch is Twitch can also help you discover things that you yourself didn't think were possible. And I don't just mean that in the sense of screen presence and connecting with people in chat and stuff like that, but also I feel like I've accomplished things in game that I never thought were possible. but again, when it comes to streaming and layout and stuff like that, like the stuff you see when I'm going to hop on at 4, and we're going to be on the PS4, the type of stuff you see there, that's all done with OBS, or in that case, Streamlabs OBS, and this is just OBS Raw right here, what I'm doing right here, and these types of layouts and stuff like that, that's the next step. I started on my couch, and now I'm here, and I've got a green screen behind me, and I'm streaming like one of the big dogs. But I still learn. I still have a lot to learn, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And again, I will stress this. Probably the toughest parts of streaming is just being able to just keep creating content and keep talking to your chat, even as you see the numbers fluctuate, up and down, up and down. In the end, you have to look back on your stream and go, okay, did I give a good stream on that? Am I happy with the way I came across? Am I happy with the content that I created? And I know that at the end of this stream, I will be thrilled with everything but the fact that I'm missing this speaking date that I promised I would do. Hopefully, we will be able to reschedule. So I got to keep an eye on that in my book of face. Let's see here. What do we got here? Yep. Okay. We are still on, by the way, for now. Just so we're getting to the last half hour of this stream, and then I'm going to hop over to the PC side and take the big chair, and then we're going to start up some Destiny on the PS4. Again, the reason I was doing this as 2 separate streams is because, well, one, I'm hopping directories. You can do that automatically if you want to, if you're doing that off of PC and what have you. But I'm also doing it just to show that yes, you can stream from a Mac. Yes, you can stream from an older Mac. This is an 11-year-old Mac. This is a 12-year-old Mac. I got this Mac back in 2007. And Computer King can appreciate this. This was the Mac that I'm streaming from right now is the Mac that I used to stream both Billabub Battings and Moravia Remastered from. So that's how far back this puppy goes. So I want to do a little Mac stream for everybody. And that's what I do also with the podcast. I also, the live episodes of Shared Desk and Happy Hour from the Tower. Both of those, we stream off of the Mac. But then when I go into gaming, that's when I hop over there and I start doing my gaming stuff. Magic Moravia memories, man. Magic Moravia memories. I still look back at doing Remastered and I go, man, what did I do with that free time? And I think that's where I, as a podcaster, I said, I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. I don't think I'm ever going to, and I'm not saying I'm not going to, I'm just saying I don't think I will ever do that again. But I will never do I don't think I will ever do a full novel again. I got the energy, it's just the free time. And I'd rather be writing or creating like other content than just, that the amount of time it takes to podcast a novel is just, and let me add a caveat to that. The way I want to podcast a novel, which is going to be the production value and the special effects and the whiz bang. And I remember there were some podcasters that said, well, you should rely less on the whiz bang, gee whiz, special effects and stuff like that, and just focus on the story itself. It's just what I love. Okay, I got another song I got to turn up here. Hold on a minute. Just go crank this up. Hang on.
We have all the love in the world.
This song, chat.
That's all we
Oh, this
have.
song.
You will find
First off, if you don't recognize the voice,
nothing more.
that's the great Satchmo himself. That's Louis Armstrong.
Of the
This was one of the last songs he recorded too.
will find us.
And then wait for the hook, and then I'll give you some more trivia about this song. But this song, baby, this song, mwah, I love this song.
Behind
Wait, here it comes. Here comes the hook.
we have all the time in the world
Oh,
just for love.
wait for it. Nothing more, nothing less, only love. So, I'll tell you what. I'll do a quick little. Oh no, I can't. I can't trust you guys. No, seriously. Let's do a quick giveaway. Can anybody name what Bond movie that song comes from? And then I'll tell you the trivia behind it. I'll tell you some of the trivia behind it. Speaking of podcast levels, last time I learned that Christiane Ellis is streaming too. Yes, she is doing a. She is also a streamer as well. Quite a few. It's funny. I'm seeing a few familiar faces and hearing a few familiar voices from podcasting. Give streaming a try. Moonraker, no, but nice guess, Computer King. I'll give everybody one more guess before, and I'm trusting you not to look it up in Wikipedia. But you've already got a clue as to who's singing the song. But I'll give it one more guess, and then it's for a free book. And but anyway, yeah. Starla Hutchton. She occasionally streams. Christiana Ellis is getting into streaming. The one who really is actually having a ball streaming, and he's staying true to brand. Phil Rossi is streaming. He streams under Phil Rossi Media, and he calls his streams the Scream Streams. Oh, you cheated already? Oh, monkey, you disappoint me. So you can't say. So then you're out. You're out. Phil Rossi does horror games, and the horror games, and on one night he does VR horror, and it's ridiculously fun watching Phil do it. It's ridiculously fun. All right, so I'll let you guys know. So that song that I cranked up and listened to from the great Satchmo, it's from On Her Majesty's Secret Service. The song is called "We Have All the Time in the World," and man, I would argue that is probably one of the prettiest of all the Bond songs. Maybe ranking it up next to Skyfall and Goldfinger. But the thing is, Skyfall and Goldfinger, those songs aren't pretty. They're ballsy James Bond themes. This song though is like, you always have two songs in a Bond movie. You get the Bond. You got the Bond theme, and then you've got the Bond love theme. Sometimes they're interchangeable, like you got For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, that's the only. So here's the thing about that. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh sweet. Yeah. All right. Cool as. So yeah, Computer King. That's the Lazenby Bond, and this is the problem with On Her Majesty's Secret Service. First off, George Lazenby was a terrible Bond. He was an absolutely terrible James Bond. Second, Telly Savalas, terrible Blofeld. I'm sorry. A lot of actors played Blofeld. He was really missing the mark. Then you've got the script itself. The script is all over the place. I mean, it was 1968, so there were some drugs involved, I'm pretty sure. But they were trying to make Bond hip and psychedelic, and it just did not work. So you had that to contend with. But then you had the Bond girl. And the Bond girl for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Dame Diana Rigg, man. And it was Avengers Dame Diana Rigg. So, mwah, I mean, But then again, you know what? To this day, I still have a crush on Dame Diana Rigg. She rocked it in Game of Thrones. Let's just be honest. Let's just be blunt. She rocked it in Game of Thrones. So, you got that. And then there's the love song. And the love song was "We Have All the Time in the World." And as terrible of a Bond that Lazenby was, I will give him credit. The ending of, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you what the ending is, but the ending of On Her Majesty's Secret Service is probably one of the most powerful Bond moments ever captured on film, and he sold it. He nails it, but the rest of the movie is just a train wreck. But so what happens? Okay, so Bond gets married, right? Bond meets he meets the woman of his dreams, and he marries her, and they're traveling through the Swiss Alps by car. And they've, they're on their way to their honeymoon. He's happy, she's happy. He's left the Secret Service. He's like, it's gonna be all good now. And then as he, hang on a second. Just found a pic of Diana Rigg in high boots and corset with a riding crop. Yep. I know the exact picture you're talking about, Monkey. That is from an episode of The Avengers. One of the weirder Avengers, not Marvel's Avengers, but just the Avengers, BBC's. Anyway, there's I can't remember why. I think he pulled over to fix a tire or something like that. But then a helicopter shows up. Blofeld's in the helicopter, and he basically opens up a machine gun onto the car. Bond is shielded. Teresa is not. Tracy. Thank you, nerd girl. Tracy Bond. You're right, Tracy. I thought it was Teresa. Tracy Bond, and the cops show up, and they find Bond cradling Tracy, and he looks up from her dead body, and he says to the cops, "It's perfectly all right. We have all the time in the world." Ha! I mean, Lazenby sold it. If the entire movie had been that good, it would have been considered one of the best Bonds ever made. But there were so many other things wrong with that film. But the things they got right: one, they got Dame Diana Rigg, done. Secondly, they got Louis B. Armstrong to sing "We Have All the Time in the World," and it's just a gorgeous Bond song. And man, great music. Anyway. I've completely derailed. Speaking of which, I've completely derailed myself. But we are in the last 15 minutes or so of this feed, and then I'm going to hop over to the PC side, and we're gonna do some we're gonna create some content that this stream is known for. We're gonna get into Destiny at 4:00. I'm just gonna do a little warm up, probably going ahead and go on an adventure or something like that, and then hop on over to meet up with Acer. At 4:30, we are doing the Last Wish raid. I always get nervous before a raid. But these are good guys that I'm running with. In fact, let me see who the hit parade is. Who are we running with today on this raid? Let's see. Snaps, can I smoke a J on Twitter Live? Yeah, I she's a freaking hoot. I love her. Oh man. Okay. I was gonna check the 100 dot. Yeah. If you're ever looking for, if you're so we can do a little gamer talk. Since I'm not getting many questions right now, this is for this particular stream. If you got any comments or questions about writing, about putting together a dummies book, putting together your stream, putting together your podcast, now's the time to ask them before I sign off for this stream. Well, yeah, I mean that's sort of the nice thing about the legalization of marijuana, Monkey. It's like, well, if it's in your jurisdiction, you should be fine, right? One of those things. I received karma from Quasi Kyle, so thanks for that. I appreciate that. Game organizer changed. He is now sending out. Oh, okay. He is now sending out. All right. So it looks like we got Trav, we got Acer, we got Kyle. Yeah, we got a team of 6. I had to push it back. Okay. So it looks like Weezer going on a raid. But if you want to go on ahead and ask a question, if you want to ask a question on Destiny, you can always ask a question on Destiny. But my my quick little side note on Destiny, I always get a little nervous before a raid. Always get a little nervous because to me it's a big deal. You're getting 6 people together and you're going on you're getting a fire team together and you're gonna hit this raid and you're gonna hit it hard. I love doing it though. When it comes to raids, I think of all the different things you can do as a team, raids are the most fun. Strikes, you're in, you're out, bing, boom, you're done. But raids, man, I just love raids. They're just I love the sheer challenge and the scope and the epic feel of them. Yeah, I think they're great. I think they're great. But I did want to say real quick to everybody, thank you very much for joining me on this on this talk show format. By all means, if you're digging the chat, feel free to come on ahead and join us on our Discord. Oh, that's not it. That's what happens when I try to type without my glasses. Let's try that again. Discord, not Datcord, but Discord. Thank you. Feel free to join us there. If you enjoyed the chat on here, then by all means let me know. I will try to make this a regular thing on Tuesdays because I dig this. It also lets me justify spending the X amount of dollars that I did on the green screen. Because I honestly I think I kind of dig where Streamlabs has kind of simplified things and I can go on ahead and just plug stuff in. And I've got stuff you can see in the background. I genuinely enjoy not having to fuss with the green screen, but it works for this. This is what is it? What are you talking about? The cool look is with the glasses. Or are you just talking about in general this whole this layout right here? You got me curious now, monkey. But yeah, this is a different kind of format for me, and I totally get that. But I'm always looking to come up with new content and just do different stuff so that when people come back, they're like, oh, he's doing this now. That's kind of cool. Again, goes back to what I was saying earlier. When people come to would you ever project your gameplay on the screen? Would I ever project? Well, I mean, I'm doing that. Technically, I'm doing that right now. Oh, wait. That's how Paradox Games Dev Clash does Stellaris games. Oh, wait. I think I see what you mean. Would I ever project like if I had a bigger screen or something like that, would I do that? Sure. If I ever had the opportunity of doing, I tell you what was cool. Guardian Con. Man, Guardian Con was crazy. One of the coolest things I ever saw at Guardian Con, and if you want to get a glimpse of it, if you go to either Devs in the Corner, games on the green screen. Okay, I see where you're coming at. Would I do that? Yeah, I mean, I would probably tinker with OBS and try to come up with something where I could create this sort of thing where I would be green screened out. But technically I'm doing that already with what we're doing here. Yes, when you're one of the nice things if I wanted to do the green screen effect, I can always it's this one. I mean, if I wanted to, I can go in and I could shrink myself down to here so you could get more. That's true if I wanted to do that. Now I see. Now I gotta just check. Oh, I got it right. Wow. Okay, so so as I was saying earlier, though, if I wanted to project if I wanted to do that, yeah, I suppose I could do that on. I'd have to set it up over there, but I like a lot of the templates that Streamlabs gives me. I haven't done a full deep dive into that, Monkey, but hey, you know what? I can always try something new. I don't. That's the beautiful thing about one of many beautiful things about Twitch is that I can pretty much go on ahead and try different things if I want to. It'll work out great. It'll work out great because then I'll be like, okay, this will work. Maybe this doesn't work. And I switch it back and forth to whatever I feel is fitting for what I want to accomplish. Now for the talk show format, where we have where I have the book covers up and things like that, this works out great for this format. Now, for those of you who have seen Happy Hour from the Tower, or you've seen the Shared Desk Live, you know that I do it with just basically just quick, just simple, no green screens. And I prefer that to me, that works better for those talk show formats, because then we got multiple people. When it's just me, this is stuff that I'm experimenting with. And I think for the solo talk, this works best. Green screen, book covers, boom, and all the different places where you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. But I was talking about the setup at GuardianCon. So at GuardianCon, they were doing an actual tournament. They were doing a Gambit tournament, and they were just unveiling Gambit and what you could do with it. Oh, that was crazy pants cool. If you go to the Happy Hour from the Tower Facebook page, or if you go to if you go to the Happy Hour from the Tower Twitter feed, which I believe you can reach by going there. Yes. Okay. You'll see an image that we have of it was from the players' perspectives of their screens and the audience watching them. They were projecting on the huger screen on a very large screen behind them. They were projecting each individual players what they were doing at the time. And man, that was insane, crazy pants fun. Insane, crazy pants fun. Yeah, I mean, if I ever had the opportunity to do that sort of thing where I would project gameplay behind me, sure, I would do that. But that's technically what we're doing with Twitch to begin with. Okay, so here's what I think I'm gonna do. We're closing in on the 2-hour mark. We're also closing in on 4 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the session all the way to 2 hours. It's the completionist in me. I don't want to end at 1:59:59, but I'm going to go on ahead and we're going to close out. I'm going to take a quick bio break, and when I come back, I'll be on the PS4 side, and then I'll be back on the PC. It'll be the usual setup that you see, and I'm going to get warmed up for my raid at 4:30. I also need to clean my glasses because my glasses are freaking filthy. That's why I've been taking them on and off, because man, these guys need a polish. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me on this very casual talk show format. Thank you for joining me on this real talk about creating content for the tutorial in iMovie. I hope you all took something from it. I hope it was helpful for you. Remember, Twitch for Dummies, Podcasting for Dummies, they are available at bookstores everywhere. If you're not a bookstore person, that's okay. They're going to be in libraries everywhere. I can't guarantee if the 3rd edition is going to be at your local library, but you can ask for it. You can also ask them to order Twitch. Just don't go to pirate sites and download it for free, because that's just trouble in a nutshell. And it's not good for the publisher, and it's definitely not good for me, because if people are pirating Twitch for Dummies, then what does that mean? It means that the book isn't selling, and that's when they go, we don't need a 2nd edition, when actually we might in a year or two. Let's see. Monkey says, thank you for the TED Talk. I love hearing your discussion about media. Thanks a lot, Monkey. Thanks, man. It's stuff that I love talking about, man. It's been a heck of a ride these past decade and a half. And I don't know if Phil's ever told the story on stream, but the way Phil met was that he calls me up. Well, he drops me a line. He basically says, I'm working on a book. I know you're local. I know you're JMU alumni. I'm that too. Can we have a beer? If you got it in your schedule, can we have a beer? And we can talk about it. And I think this was right before Phil turned 30. And we've been friends since. He is one of the best people I know. He is one of the most creative. He is one of the most creative machines that I know. I mean, I don't know where he gets his energy from, but I wish I could just bottle a little bit of that for myself. And I love what he does, and I love everything he stands for. He's a good guy. He's a good egg. He's one of my best friends. And I was there when I was saying, so what's this idea you got? And he goes, well, I got this idea for a novel called Crescent. And then after that, boom, I mean, it's Phil Rossi, man. So yeah, Phil's good people. And the changes we have seen over this past decade and a half has been absolutely stunning. Just freaking stunning. All right. So, let's see. We got more copies of the Civ. Wait, what is that? More copies of the Civ strategy guide sold than the game itself. Probably for the artwork. Because I know I've bought some strategy guides just because the artwork is that beautiful inside of it. We need you to sneak into his house and hit him with a pool noodle while he's viewer streaming. Ah! I don't need to sneak into his house. I could work that out with Tina and we can make that happen. That'd be fun as hell. The idea has been planted. Let's see what we can do. All right, everybody. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go on ahead, take a quick break, get the stream up and running again, take a quick bio break, maybe get some ice for the water. And when we get back, it's Destiny 2 and raid time, okay? Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I will see you all in 2 weeks. Take care of yourselves.
As I walk these roads, I'm not alone. You open these doors like this is my home. And you give me love, so pure and so free. And you gave me all the little things that I could ever need. And you give me love, not till you'll see. And even through the rain, your smile inside will last me. These streets of gold, so much untold. Blessed by the sun, you touched my soul, you showed me more than enough. This place that I have never been before, you took me in without even a thought. I thank you for my place in your heart, and you give